If turning on your oven this time of year feels like declaring war on your air conditioner, then friends, welcome to Crockpot season. Today I'm sharing 3 dump and go slow cooker meals that are so easy. 2 of them only use about 3 ingredients and they still taste like you've worked all day. We're keeping it cool, stress-free, and delicious. Plus, I'm sharing Granny's famous coleslaw, you know, the one you always ask for, and a no-bake chocolate chip cookie pie that might just steal the show. Welcome home. These recipes are proof that dinner doesn't have to be hard to be really good. Today, we're making some barbecued pork chops in the crock pot. I'm using Old Red. It's my 6-quart oval crock pot. It's missing a leg. I have to prop it up there. A 4-quart would also work. You'll just need to layer your chops a little bit more. And this is kind of just a dump and go crock pot recipe. I'm starting with about a cup of barbecue sauce. Use whatever you like. I'm using up some of this Sticky Fingers Sweet and Smooth Kentucky Bourbon barbecue sauce. The next thing that we're going to do is add in about a cup of jelly. Apricot and peaches go really well with pork. But, you know, honestly, just use whatever you like, whatever you have a little bit left of in your fridge you want to use up. I'm using this ginger peach jam from Jam & Jams. Y'all know how good this is going to be. And let's just get it all mixed together here. I am going to give my crock pot just a little coating of some nonstick spray in the bottom of it. Now I'm going to put my pork chops in the bottom of my crock pot here. And I've got 5 of these boneless pork loins. Looks like they're 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches thick. And the thick pork chops really work good in the slow cooker. When I try to fry a chop like this, I'll get it tough every time. But in the crock pot, I can keep them nice and tender. Now we're just going to give them just a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Now, if you want to, you can throw some onion powder and garlic powder, even a little brown sugar or something like that on here. But I think the barbecue sauce has plenty of seasoning in it. So all I'm doing is salt and pepper. And then I'm going to flip them over and do the same thing to the other side. Very simple, very basic and easy ingredients. Now let's sauce them up. Just going to pour our sauce and our jam mixture right over the top. Don't waste any of it. If you are using a 4-quart crock pot, you'll want to put a little sauce in between your layers and then finish off with sauce on the top. Look at those chunks of peach in here. This is going to be good. Now I'm just going to pop that lid on top and I'm going to cook mine on high. These will be done in about 3 to 4 hours, or you can cook them on low for about 5 hours. Check them internally and make sure they're cooked all the way through to 145 degrees. One of my favorite things to make in the crock pot is actually baked potatoes, especially in the summer. And I start by just wadding up a few pieces of aluminum foil and I just put them down inside my crock pot. This is going to kind of keep the potatoes up off the bottom because you want, you know, the air to get around them and, you know, let the skins kind of stay dry and bake. You don't want them to get down there and get like wet and stuck. So got my aluminum foil in here. I'm hoping all these potatoes will fit. I decided kind of at the last minute to do baked potatoes with some pork chops that I'm doing in my other crock pot. So we're going to start with 4 and I'm just taking some oil. This is avocado oil. This would be good for my skin, my old dried up hands. I'm just going to rub a little bit of oil over each one of these. And you don't have to poke holes in them. Cooking them low and slow like this, they're going to be just fine. Get up any of that extra oil on your potatoes. I like to coat mine with a little coarse sea salt. And I get this canister of it right here at the Dollar Tree for $1.25 now. So I'm just going to give each side a little coating. Now, let's put them in the crock pot. It's okay if they're touching. It won't hurt a thing. And I think I'm just going to be able to get 4 of them in here. These were big, big old potatoes. Let me move them around a little bit. That one on top's just going to have to be touching. Get that extra salt up off my plate over here. Now, before we put the lid on here, I'm going to take some paper towels and I'm going to use 2 layers of them. This is going to soak up any moisture that is going to kind of collect on our lid and put the lid right over the top of them. Now, you'll notice I've got my crock in here. This is between the crock and the lid, not the heating element right here. And I'm going to cook mine on high. These will be done in 2 to 4 hours, or you could cook them on low all day long. This is great for the summer. When Patrick's cooking steaks outside and I'm in charge of the sides, I don't have to heat up my oven. It's hands off. And the great thing about making extra ones is when you pull them out, you can peel them and then you could chop them up and throw them in a skillet with some bacon grease and fry them. You could make potato salad, you can make mashed potatoes, or you can peel them, chunk them up, and make loaded potato soup. It's really a prep ahead side and a starter for so many other recipes. After about 2 hours, I came in here and cut my pork chops down to low, and they're just perfect. I want just a little bit of that extra barbecue sauce over the top of mine. I mentioned these were kind of on the small side, so they cooked a couple of hours on high and then about an hour, hour and a half on low. And look how beautiful that is on the inside there. I served our pork chops along with a big fresh salad and some baked potatoes from another crock pot of mine. This is so succulent and delicious, and this little barbecue concoction is great to use on meatballs like we have in another recipe in this video. It's great on chicken. It's also great to throw in the crock pot with a roast, shred it up and put it on sandwiches. There's a million uses for these kind of little marinades. And this is just juicy and fork tender. This would also be really good on like a big pork loin roast pulled into barbecue. In my last video, some of y'all noticed and said that you loved my new glasses. First of all, thank you so much. You guys know how to make a girl feel really nice. And now I have to know, what do you think about these or these? They're from Pair Eyewear, the sponsor of today's video, and I'm in love. Pair Eyewear has this genius, fun, money-saving system where you just buy one pair of basic frames, then you can customize them with lots of fun magnetic toppers. My base frame is called the Reese, and I chose it in black because that's just a classic that goes with everything. Then one of my toppers is a tortoise shell because I love a tortoise shell. It's a great neutral also. And I chose the spruce to hopefully play up my green eyes. And because it's summer, I went with the black sun topper too. Pair has styles for men, women, and kids with base frames starting at $60 and magnetic toppers starting at $25. There are over 400 toppers to choose from, including collections from Disney, Van Gogh, Major League Baseball, and more. You can get readers, prescription lenses, even progressives. You can have blue light, or you can just have fun with the look and clear lenses. You can wear your base frames just as they are, but it's so easy just to snap on a pair of the magnetic toppers. And these magnets are really strong and the toppers look seamless. And it's really fun just to be able to change up your look without having to buy a whole nother pair of glasses. Honestly, I've kind of been stuck in a rut the last few years wearing like the small rectangle readers, and trying these out, it kind of gave me a little boost of self-confidence and made me feel good about myself. I tried them on and I was like, okay, girl, look at you looking all fresh and youthful there. It really was a nice change. And the virtual try-on makes it easy to find exactly what you want right from the convenience of your own home. They've got a 30-day return policy to make sure that you're completely satisfied. And check out this great case that comes with your order. This big soft-line pocket protects your high-quality lenses and frames, and you can carry an extra topper in this front little pocket. Just click the link in the description box, or you can scan the QR code that's on the screen right now for 15% off of your first pair. I know you're going to enjoy them as much as I have, and I am already got my eyes on some new toppers for myself. And thanks Pear Eyewear for sponsoring today's video. Today we're pulling out the old Buffalo Wild Wings Parmesan garlic sauce. We're going to make a crock pot pasta dish with it. I started with 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. Now I've got an 8-ounce block of cream cheese and I've chunked it up into smaller pieces. Mine's not even softened. Putting that in. Next, I'm going to put in some minced garlic. This is probably about 2 tablespoons. Just finishing out this little jar I had in the fridge. I've also got a bag of shredded Parmesan cheese. Probably half a cup in here. Gonna finish this bag out. The theme today is cleaning out the fridge. Now I'm gonna put in a bottle of this Buffalo Wild Wings, the Parmesan garlic sauce. This is a 12-ounce bottle, and this is pretty much full. I've just made a little corn recipe that I've found using this sauce, and that's all that's been used out of it. I'm just gonna pour that right over the top. Put a little water and shook it around in here to get the last little bit out. And we didn't season this chicken. This bottle right here has all of the seasonings you need. That's hard to say. Looky, looky, what else I found in the refrigerator that needs to be used up. This is probably 1/3 of a jar of these little sun-dried tomatoes. Love these things. They're in an oil that's very, very well seasoned. These are julienne chopped, but I always like to go in and dice mine up just a little bit more, just because they're easier to eat when they're in little bite-sized pieces. And because of this oil, I don't ever chop these like straight on my cutting boards because they are really greasy. Now in with the sun-dried tomatoes. Gonna pop the lid on mine and I'm gonna cook it on low for about 4 or 5 hours. Shouldn't take too long. My chicken breasts are not that large, but you could definitely cook this on high for just a couple hours and your chicken would probably be done. Come back, we'll cook up our pasta and finish off this delicious, delicious meal. Chicken is done. I'm not even going to remove mine from the crock pot because it is just so tender. I can just shred it right in here with my meat masher. Going to give it a good stir and get my cream cheese broken up. Any of that needs to be kind of chunked on down here. It was in chunks. Let's chunk it some more, I guess. Now I've got 1 cup of heavy cream that I'm going to stir right into my chicken mixture. I'm just going to use my little mix and chop to get that started. Pop this lid back on. Let this sit here for a few minutes so that the heavy cream can get back up to temperature with everything else. Then meanwhile, over on top of the stove, I'm getting a big pot of salted water coming up to a boil here. And today I'm using this rigatoni. This is from Wild Grain, and this is fresh hand-cut pasta. Comes to me frozen, and you cook it right from frozen. I'm just cooking this according to the package directions, about 8 minutes. Then we're going to take our drained warm pasta, put it right over here into our crock pot, and stir it into this delicious chicken mixture. And we're ready to eat. This is absolutely amazing. It is full of flavor, a little bit of spice from that garlic parm sauce. I love adding in the sun-dried tomatoes. I just sprinkled a little parsley on the top of mine at the end for a little color. You are gonna love this. And the thing that I love about a rigatoni or a ziti pasta is how that sauce clings to those shells and gets down in those tubes. Oh, this is so good. Today we're going to throw some meatballs in the crock pot, and this is a brand new combination of ingredients that I've never used in crock pot meatballs before. Today, I'm using my 4-quart crock pot, and I'm going to give it just a light little spray. Crock pot meatballs tend to get a little sticky. Let's start by mixing up our sauce. We're going to use 1 cup of grape jelly, and I'm just eyeballing my ingredients. But I had just a very little bit of my peachy blueberry jam left, and I think that would give it a little added bump in flavor too. So I'm going to use this and my grape jelly. I normally just have 1 jar of my Jammin' Jams opened at a time, but a couple weeks ago I shared some of the new spring flavors with you. So I've got 3 or 4 jars that I've had open, so I don't want to waste any of them. We're going to use 1 cup of chili sauce. I bought this bottle and used just a little bit out of it for something. I don't even remember what I made now, but that's what drew me to this recipe, was this chili sauce. So we're going to use a cup of this. I had it in my fridge, needed to use it. Honestly, that finishes out this jar for me. Never go wrong with a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce and a teaspoon of garlic powder. Now let's get it all whisked together. And I'm just mixing mine right inside my crock pot. As you see, I'm not dirtying up any dishes. My cousin Shanin, she tags me all the time on Facebook with all the delicious things that she's having for dinner. And she had this the other night. And when I saw that it had the chili sauce, I was like, you know what? I have some chili sauce in the fridge I need to use up. And it sounded delicious. I normally just do barbecue sauce and grape jelly, and I usually do like a whole bottle of it. You know what? As a matter of fact, I think I'm just going to put in the rest of this jar of jelly. I believe I will. Just had a little bit left in it. Nothing wrong with having a little extra sauce, is there? But anyway, Shanin, she is a good friend of mine. She's so precious. I love her. And like, I knew her, we met up in like high school before I really even knew that we were related. I mean, I guess I knew we were distantly related, but hey, if you live in Blount County and you're a couple generations back, we're probably cousins. Now I've got a bag. This is 28 ounces, almost a 2-pound bag of these home-style meatballs. Home-style is always my preference. And even though we're going to make sandwiches out of these, I still want a home-style meatball with this sauce. Normally, when I make these crock pot meatballs, when I'm using grape jelly and barbecue sauce, I'm using them like an appetizer. But Shanin said she was making this and she was going to have it like a sandwich. Normally, you think a meatball sandwich is going to be like tomato-y based. I thought that was a great idea, especially with the little buns that we're going to be using. I'll show you that later. But you just want to get them all coated really well. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to be here while these are cooking, so I may come over after they've been in here an hour or two and give them a little turn anyway. I just decided at the last minute to do this because I had everything in the freezer. So I'm going to cook mine on high for a couple hours. It's kind of a late start for me. It's about 5 o'clock. So these should be done by 7 or so. We'll keep an eye on them. When Shanin shared this with me, she said she was going to have these meatballs on sandwiches and she was going to have her Momma's coleslaw with it. Well, I don't have her Momma's coleslaw recipe, but I do have Granny's, and it's so simple. She uses just this plain old angel hair coleslaw mix, this cabbage. Now, if you have a head of cabbage, you can use that. But this is just a really quick and easy little shortcut way to do it. You use this little handy dandy little chopper here. Or if you have a food processor, you could use that. But Granny loves this, and she says the chop of your coleslaw is what makes it delicious. That right there looks about like Granny's, and that was 10 pulls on this little pull string chopper. We got these little choppers at Walmart a long time ago, and we've fallen in love with them. And where we first saw them being used at was on a YouTube channel called Simply Sarah. And when we shared this the first time, a lot of you guys said that you watched Sarah also. And I just recently saw that Sarah has passed away. So you all remember her family. If you've never seen Simply Sarah's YouTube channel, she is the sweetest gal. I mean, she was like just down home country. All she wanted to do was make good food to feed people. Love Simply Sarah. So this is a 10-ounce bag of cabbage. I'm just going to finish it up. And like I said, we prefer without the carrots or the purple cabbage in it too. Here's the end of mine. And you can get these choppers in the bigger size. I just have a little one. But you know, we're going to have us a nice bowl of slaw here. I figure if I'm making it, let's just go ahead and make a good little bit. I can send some into my in-laws and we can have some for hot dogs this week too. That'd be really good. Half a cup of your favorite mayonnaise. I enjoy Duke's. And you won't see Granny put sugar in many things, but she does put about 2 tablespoons full in her coleslaw. And you know what? This is all there is to it. Let's get it mixed together and see what we come up with. Granny doesn't add any vinegar or any additional seasonings to her coleslaw. This is all there is to it. And I like that it's not like super runny. Now you will get a little bit more liquid in this as it sets, but I like that I can scoop this out beside of the beans on my plate or something like that, and it's kind of like going to stay in its area. That liquid's not going to go out and get all over everything. The only thing I do to it when I serve it out on my plate is I do put me a little black pepper on it. But we're just going to give it a little taste and throw it in the fridge and let it get set up. It's already tasting delicious. That's what I love about it. It's just fresh and cold, simple and delicious. And if you want to add a little bit more mayonnaise, you can. But like I said, I wait till after I get it out to serve it and see if it needs it then. It's been about 2.5 hours. My meatballs are completely thawed out. Gonna fix me up a little sandwich. A little bit of that sauce down in there. I thought these sweet Hawaiian buns would be awesome with these meatballs because they're a little bit sweet, a little bit savory. Let's get us some coleslaw on here. Oh man, that looks good. And I actually want to just try one of these meatballs on its own because I've never had this sauce. So I got me one out here. It's very tender, just like they are when you do them in a crock pot. I love that. It is very savory and sweet. Perfect for a sandwich. I can't wait to eat it all together. This was so yummy. Thank you, Shanin, for giving me this recipe. It's a whole different flavor profile of an old classic, and I love it. And friends, you don't have to talk to Shanin, but just for a minute to know a few really important things about her. She loves the Lord, she loves her family, and she would give you the shirt off of her back. She blesses my heart, how she has always got a positive attitude and uplifting everybody. And like I said, family is important to Shanin, and it is very important to me too. And me and my cousin have a lot in common in that way. And I hope that I am half as uplifting and encouraging as she is to me. Thanks so much for this delicious recipe, Shanin. I love you. I am so excited tonight. We're going to make this no-bake pie. I've seen it a million times, never got to make it. We're going to do it together. And these are all the ingredients. It's just a chocolate chip cookie pie. I'm using a chocolate pie crust. You can use a graham cracker if you want to, but I thought this chocolate sounded really good. Then we're going to just start by plopping a little bit of Cool Whip right down here in the bottom. This one's already been used out of, but it shouldn't take more than 1 8-ounce container. I'm using the 0 sugar one. I'm just going to spread it all along the bottom of my pie crust here. Now for the super fun part. Take your chocolate chip cookie and you just want a cup of milk, just a quick little dunk, not a soaking dunk. And you want to drip the excess off, and you want to start with the crispy. You don't want a soft batch chocolate chip cookie. because it's gonna sit in the fridge and get softened up. It's very hard for me not to hold that cookie down in the milk because, that's how we're used to eating them. I like to take my cookie and break it when I see some little empty places. I'm just going to do it like that. I'm going to fill in the bottom all the way. Oops, see, I done broke a little piece right there. Now another layer of Cool Whip. I may go a little bit thicker on this layer than I did on the bottom. Just kind of wanted something for those first little cookies to stick to. Now another layer of cookies, and this would be so much fun to make with your kids or grandkids. I've seen Catherine at Catherine's Plates. Gosh, I saw her make this. She was probably the first one I ever saw make this little pie a couple years ago. I've seen Jen over at Cook Clean and Repeat make it. And I don't know how many people I've seen on Instagram and TikTok make this little pie. So I just thought it was high time that we give it a try. You guessed it, another layer of Cool Whip. And my Cool Whip has been thawed out in the refrigerator, of course. Gonna finish up our last little layer of chocolate chip cookies. Make sure that you save you at least 2 little cookies out to decorate the top with. I've got a family size container of Chips Ahoy just because that's what was on sale this week. And I'd say just a regular size Chips Ahoy would be enough to do this recipe with. Had to break out my other little container of Cool Whip. Each one of these layers, you're just using about 1/3 of your carton of Cool Whip. Let's give it a pretty little icing over the top with it. All the time I was putting these little layers together, I was thinking you could drizzle some chocolate sauce down in there if you wanted to, or some caramel. You could do anything you want to do. This is your happy little pie. Since I got plenty of Cool Whip, let's make it really big on top, why don't we? Just gonna tap it with my spatula to make like some little peaks on it here. Oh, I kind of like the way my little chocolate crust is getting up in here. That's kind of pretty, actually. I'll put some up in here, too. Now I'm just going to sprinkle my little cookie crumbs all over the top. You can see the little chocolate chips in them. I may come in and spread those out just a little bit more. No, there comes some more. Perfect. Now, the hardest part about this pie is going to be putting this lid on it and setting it in the refrigerator overnight. You need to let it sit at least 8 hours, but we'll eat ours tomorrow. Can't wait. Okay, friends, here is the moment of truth. I think the chocolate pie crust was an excellent idea. Oh my goodness. It's so light. I can't describe it. It's like a chocolate chip, fluffy dessert. It's so good. You still get a little bit of crunch from the cookies in there. I mean, maybe it's the crust because those are, pretty soft now, but I don't know. I'm getting some crunch. I'm getting sweet chocolate cream. This is so quick, so easy, and so delicious. Your family is going to love this. Click here for more Dump and Go Crockpot recipes that will cook dinner while you get on with your day. Thanks so much for spending some time here with me. I appreciate you more than you know. And as always, I send you love straight from my kitchen.